On today's episode of the Real Recovery Podcast, episode number 104, we are thrilled to welcome Justin Rye. Justin grew up in Fresno, California, where the streets pulled hard and fast. Gang involvement, early drug use, and years cycling in and out of juvenile detention, group homes, and eventually prison. For much of his adult life, Justin knew only two things: survival and substances. His road to recovery led him to Portland, to sober living, and ultimately to a faith that changed everything. With nearly 3 years sober, Justin now works as a substance abuse counselor at Adult and Teen Challenge, where he channels every hard lesson into hope for the people he serves. His message is clear: real recovery takes time to build, and the uncomfortable work is exactly where the transformation lives.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. I'm Julie, your co-host. On this journey of healing and transformation, together with my co-host Peter, we dive into the heart of recovery, sharing stories that resonate with courage and inspiration.
That's right, Julie. Each episode is a new chapter in this vast narrative of recovery, and we're honored to bring them to you. But keep in mind, the perspectives you'll hear are for informational purposes only and may not reflect the views of the podcast or our partners.
Indeed, while these conversations can be a powerful part of your recovery toolkit, they are not substitute for professional medical advice. We encourage you to seek guidance from your healthcare provider for any treatment-related decisions.
And if you're facing an immediate crisis, or if you just need to talk to someone who understands, don't hesitate to call the Recovery Crisis Line at 503-223-8569. That number is also on our website. Help is available 24/7.
Now let's begin our episode
Of recovery, real recovery.
Hi, welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. This is Julie.
Hello, everybody. This is Peter. Hello.
And we're here with my Fred Meyer friend, Justin.
Hello, how are you?
And I say Fred Meyer friend because I stopped him in the parking lot of Fred Meyer and gave him the podcast card because we had on matching shirts.
Oh, very cool.
How's that? And I'm like, do you know Skylar? Is what I said, because he had the...
Oh, you had the We Do Recovers?
Yeah. He had a red and white one on.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, so cool. And shout out to Sky, because I have my rainbow one on that I brought at Recover Out Loud. I think I got it that night. Yeah.
You know, a weird thing is too, is like with Skylar, like I've talked to him. I talked to him for 8 months online every day before I even met him in person. It was so
really
weird.
We met him through Tony V from 4D. We were interviewing Tony, and Tony's, I got this guy you got to meet. And when I met him, I was like, first of all, he's positive as fuck. And I love that so much. But when he started talking about Paranoia Park,
Yeah.
it had been in my past as well. And he was like, yeah, I thought the FBI was watching me from the building. And I was like, I thought the police...
And they probably were.
And guess what? And I was like, I thought the police might have been there too. What a horrible coincidence. But we've been friends ever since.
Well, you can't go to Paranoia Park without being paranoid.
Yeah, that's what it's called. That's the name.
Dude, I can tell you stories, but yeah. So welcome. I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. I hear you. Just heard you came from a very far distance. Estacada.
Yeah,
it's like another world from here.
Yeah, I work as a substance abuse counselor at Adult and Teen Challenge in Estacada.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that just so much.
Yeah.
Seriously, I really love that. And thank you. People are so kind to us by coming here, like from places and just giving their time. So we're super grateful.
Yeah.
I think it's our job to spread the message, right?
It is.
To
And
let
honestly,
people know.
you don't keep it unless you give it away, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The other really good thing about this podcast is I usually know a lot of people when they come on it, and I get to know you tonight. I'm really excited. I know you from a fucking parking lot.
Yeah.
I was telling Peter, I said, I'm excited for this guy because I don't know his whole story. So I'm excited to hear your journey.
Yeah. Dude, when I first started wearing those Redo Recover sweaters, nobody was wearing them. And now they're all over the place.
Can I tell you, I see him too, right? And I'll be like, hey, I'm part of that crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's funny how you go from, I think historically ashamed of being associated with AA or any of the A groups, any of the letters. And now I'm proud to show off that I'm who I am.
No, I got a bumper sticker, a back sticker decal that says "Friend of Bill W's." It's really cool.
That is cool.
That's love
awesome.
that too, because I am a big friend of Bill W's.
I just had a guy pump my gas, and he's like, "Who's in here a friend of Bill W's?" And he's like, "Yeah, me too."
And
like, cool.
you only know
if
I love that. I really love that, and I love that. AA is your thing. It's my thing. And we don't always do stories on AA, but we do stories on recovery.
Yep.
Yeah. And the principles and the traditions from AA are replicated so often in many of the other programs.
Dual diagnosis.
And I feel like it's really hard for me to tell my story in a meeting setting because they like, you can't talk about this or that. Or if you're in an AA meeting, you can't say drugs. You're at it.
Guess what?
If you're
you
at an
can
NA
say
meeting,
whatever
the
fuck you want.
You gotta say dry goods or like the other substance or whatever.
No, I hear you. Being an IV drug user, growing up in AA, I never used to talk about it at all. I used to just say, I would never talk about one or the other, just what I was doing or going through.
Yeah.
And after about 100 or more, I think we're now 102 episodes. Addiction's addiction.
102
whatever.
Episodes? Wow.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
And after hearing 102 different stories, whatever the substance is or the thing is,
sex,
addiction
food,
is and
look, sneakers.
The common thread is is never enough.
Yeah.
Never enough. There's never enough.
Or as Roger says, you always want more.
Yeah, addiction.
And I've been guilty of that, whether it's work.
Yeah.
Wanting success. I think I've been addicted to many different things.
Yeah.
Some of them legal, some of them not.
Even the legal ones can be bad. Alcohol's legal, and look at where it got so many people.
Shoes are legal.
Shoes are legal, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what I used to say
Gambling.
at Sprint? When I worked for Sprint,
Eating.
I got a monthly bonus each month. And I figured if I'm buying a pair of shoes, that's only 12 pairs of shoes a year. Okay. Seems relatively reasonable.
That's a lot of shoes.
But my process was I'm not buying a bag of dope.
Yeah.
And my shoe collection was fly. It matched my polo collection for work.
I know. And I got a really nice shoe collection right now. So,
Me too.
yeah.
Like I said, I just got
added
those
another
Gamma
one, so-
Blues for
And I'm hoping
Christmas.
to add another one tomorrow. That's
There you go.
$500 in shoes in 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not there anymore, but yeah,
That was my tax return money.
there you go. Hey, again,
That's
better
why
than
I did it. I'm like, you know what? This is free money because it's extra. It doesn't take from any of my bills. And
Yeah.
like you said, it'll match all. He has a Skylar Ray collection. He has a shirt and a hat and shoes to match.
I do.
Really?
Every sweater, shirt that matches every hat.
That is awesome.
So that's so me, right?
Yes.
It
And
is.
I got a shirt signed by Skylar and Kayla.
I love that.
It's their Road to Recovery tour shirt.
Oh, that is so cool.
It was really cool.
We got a CD and a poster. He mailed us to us. It was awesome. And when I got to see him perform, first of all, my favorite song is Walk on Water with Kayla as well. Like, I just love them together and that one. But
Her voice is killer, man. Jeez, that girl.
Yeah.
I would love to hear her in an opera. She's classically trained.
I
would
did.
love to hear her in an opera. I bet she
And God
blows
was
it.
doing a lot of good work when he mixed those two up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
for real. Like, dreams are possible.
Hey, don't forget about Pound Cake.
Yeah.
I love Pound Cake. Pound Cake is cute, but
That's their dog for those who don't know. Their
Skylar
cute
met
little dog.
my dog, and my dog's pretty cute too. I have a Boston Terrier. He's pretty fly.
I got a pit bull and she's the best.
There you go. And we're here with Coco Chanel as well, Peter's dog.
Yes, my poor deaf, blind, 16-year-old.
I know. She told me she runs into things. Does she run into stuff still?
She's like a Roomba, but she goes around. She bounces it off furniture and just makes her way around.
Look, but guess what she does now? If you got some food,
Oh, her nose.
there's nothing wrong with her nose.
Yeah.
Okay, she's got bionic nose.
You get a dog with a broken nose, you might as well put him in the ground.
Yeah, right.
That's true. That's true. So, Justin, let's go to I'm glad you're here. I really am.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know, like, the beginning, how you got into where you didn't want to be and how you got out.
Right. So I grew up in a city, Fresno, California, where people start drug dealing and gangbanging at a really young age.
I've heard that.
5th grade, actually, people start gangbanging, probably earlier than that. And
Wow.
so I wanted to be like the rest of them. And I was just a normal white kid from an all black neighborhood. So I had to be extra. And I didn't really start I started smoking weed at a really young age, 9 years old. And I didn't really start getting into like harder drugs till I was 16. But I ended up going to juvenile hall when I was 12 for stabbing a teacher.
Oh my gosh.
And spent 4 years in a group home, in and out of group homes. I went to 16 group homes, ran from every one of them.
Wow.
All I wanted to do was see my mom, and they wouldn't let me, so I would run.
That's hard.
Yeah, my sister got me out of group homes when I was 17 or 16, and that's when I first tasted meth. Her house was a heroin house, and so I was able to do whatever I wanted, and nobody cared. And
Which as a youth is cool.
Yeah,
but
and where's your mom?
looking back.
Just out of curiosity, where's your mom?
my mom was in Idaho, and so my mom ended up showing back up at the scene. She's the first person I ever did meth with.
Oh, okay.
And she wanted to get high. So I was with her. And so she had to I don't know what she was thinking, but we smoked foil boat together. And I ended up getting arrested again. My probation got violated and my PO came and picked me up. I went to California Youth Authority until I was 19. And when I got out, I didn't have no probation, no nothing.
Nobody to check in
Nobody
with,
to check
no
in.
accountability.
I didn't know nothing. Like they don't teach you how to get a job or nothing, like nothing. So I didn't have nowhere to go. So what's the first thing I did? I went straight to the streets, got a bag of dope and started selling and making money. And that led me to a serious life of crime, man. Like I spent most of my adult life in and out of prison, in and out of jail.
On the installment plan?
Yeah, life on the installment plan. The first time I ever got sentenced, I was 19 years old. First time I ever got sentenced as an adult, I was 19 or 20. And the judge tells me, son, I got to tell you, your addiction that you're addicted to is a 40-year addiction. He says, if you don't get out now, you can be in it for the rest of your life.
When I went to prison, there's a room, let's just say 23 for mathematical purposes, and they're doing the intake. And they say one of you is going to come here and you're going to learn your lesson the first time. 2 of you, it's going to take 2, maybe 3 times. The rest of you are going to do life on the installment plan. And I was like, fuck no. Yeah. I was like, hell no.
And the first time I went to prison, I did a lot of jail time, little petty stuff, nothing really. And then first time I went to prison, my cellie that I was in there, I was like telling him over and over again, I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. It's the last time I've ever been locked up. And then I ended up getting 6 more violations on that same number. And he tells me, if I seen him again, and he goes, bro, when I first met you and you told me you're never coming back, I believed you. He goes, I don't believe you anymore. Like, dang, bro. So my whole life, I've never had a place to live. Out my whole life since I got out of YA. Like I stayed with my mom and my sister, whatever, off and on. But like, I never had a place that I knew was mine. I never had a job. I never had a driver's license. I never had any of that stuff. All I knew how to do was sell drugs and get women. And I was good at it. And to the point where I never had both of them. Yeah. I've never had a drug charge because I knew like how to hide it, where to keep it, how to not get caught. And I've been selling drugs my whole life. And
I was lucky. I didn't have a drug charge. Same.
I never had it. I did have one drug charge. I sold dope to a cop at a casino in California, in Redding. And that was the only drug charge I ever had. And I went to prison for it. And I got out and came up here. I traveled around the country for 7 years in my van. And I came up here for the National Rainbow Gathering. The National Rainbow Gathering. If anybody doesn't know what Rainbow Gathering is, it's the biggest hippie family reunion in the world.
And
There
if
was-
anybody, you can't see me.
There was 30,000 hippies in the middle of the woods.
Is that the one where they were needing help with it at one point and the Grateful Dead stepped up and played and it got it?
No, there's no electronics allowed.
Oh, okay.
Only
That's
instruments that are allowed are ones that you don't have to plug in.
Is this the one in Eugene?
It's in a different state every year.
Yeah. My friend Charles went to it.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm just bringing my guitar. And it was
Yeah,
you
there
know.
was one last year here in Oregon. And the last one was in 2017. That's when I got to Oregon.
I really think
So-
my friend was at that, for real.
So I left the Rainbow Gathering and I went to Montana. I had been clean for 2 years
Nice.
and I was only smoking weed and taking mushrooms. So that was considered clean to me. I always smoked weed, like even like now I don't, but like my whole life, as long as I was not using meth, I was considered clean, even to all my family. So
I had a doctor tell me, I said, I'm smoking weed, but I stopped. I was an IV drug user.
Yeah.
And he said, that's okay. You go ahead and smoke weed for a couple more months. And then it's time for us to get off the weed. But I truly believe that it helped me get off the meth.
So when I came to Oregon, I was always in a city where I had family and people that I can stay with or all the time. Even when I was on drugs, I've been on drugs. I have a 25-year meth addiction. And like, I don't remember a time in my life that I wasn't locked up, that I wasn't on meth. And if I wasn't on meth, I was doing something, drinking and smoking weed. So anyways, when I left the Rainbow Gathering, we went to Montana and we started looking for drugs in Montana. And I told
There's
these
barely
people,
cell service
I
in
told them,
Montana.
like, we're not going to be able to find drugs in Montana. I don't even know why we left Oregon. We could have went to Portland and I would have been able to get drugs. And they were like, oh, you could? And I'm like, yeah, let's go back. So we drove back all the way to Portland, straight to Skidmore Fountain. And
Mm.
it was on. I had been clean for 2 years, remember? And so I find a bag of dope and I'm like, where's the rig at? I don't want to if I'm going to get high, I'm not smoking it. Right. I'm doing a shot. And so I spent the next 5 years of my life in downtown Portland selling dope and living in a tent. It was so cold.
Oh my God.
It was so
Yeah.
cold all the time. I spoke at this church on Sunnyside Road. You know where Obies is at? That's a school.
OB speaker me.
So that's a school right there, a Christian school. So I went and spoke there. And one of the students asked me, what does it feel like to be homeless? And I told him, imagine getting cold, being so cold and never being able to get warm.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what being homeless feels like.
I can't do it. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
It
I'm
was
too
tough.
sensitive.
It was tough. And so
We got a trailer like 3 years ago because I wasn't going to do tent camping anymore.
I don't do tent camping, just for the record.
not even to like
Camping is
to live
glamping
in a
at a
tent.
cabin at the beach. If you don't have a shower and a bathroom, I'm good. I'm just being honest. I'm a wuss.
you know what what is that joke about camping? Well, having sex while camping. It's fucking intense.
That's
That's
actually a good one. I like that one.
I do too.
That was
I
funny.
remember that.
I should have bleeped that out.
No, that was good. I love it. When people like it, when our podcast is upbeat, believe it or not, the stories are serious. Sometimes I'm in tears through half of them, but that was a good one. I'm going to use that.
So I was here in Portland, right? And like I was saying, I'm always in a town where my family is at. So I can never really go too hard because I got family all around me. Redding's a real small city. I lived in Redding for 15 years and it's a real small town. And my parents could always go look for me and find me if they needed to. And so I could never go really too hard. But when I got to Portland, I don't have no family here. I don't know anybody. And all I had was my dog. And so I went hard. Like I was
Almost
up for weeks,
5 years
like
is hard.
doing 80 unit shots to the neck. Like I was
Oh my
going
gosh.
hard.
Never talk about that again. I'm going to.
And
I have a weak stomach when it
And,
comes
like,
to that.
And so when I ended up going to Eugene with a friend of mine and we ran out of gas. We didn't have no gas. And I had been telling this dude like for days, like, we could just rob a bank, right? Why don't we just rob a bank? Why not?
Shut the fuck up.
Right. And so we did, right? We robbed the bank and
Just curious, gun or no gun?
no gun.
Better.
A
Better
note.
charges.
A note. Right. It was still
Mhm.
federal.
Yeah, but
So I ended up in federal prison for it. 6 months later, they got me. I thought we had gotten away with it, but I didn't know that feds are like an elephant, right? They never forget.
Mhm.
Right? They had just built such a strong case against us, waiting for us. Like they were like, we'll get him sometime. Don't worry about it. We got him. So they got us. I did 2 years in federal prison for a bank robbery. And when I got out, they take you to a halfway house. You can't just get out, and you can't be homeless in the feds. They won't let you. You got to have a place to live or they send you back.
which is good in a way.
And so I went to the halfway house. And while I was in prison, I had been smoking spice. I don't know if you know what spice is, but it's like a
I don't.
synthetic marijuana that.
I have to tell you, I learn a lot of stuff on this show. I've learned
Synthetic
what.
marijuana.
Yeah, but it has the same effects as marijuana, but it's on paper and they can't test for it.
Really?
Does
Wow.
it come in the mail?
It comes in the mail. Yeah.
So I had a friend, and I didn't know what this lady was doing, but she took and squirted the seal of the envelope.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
meth, and then the guy ate the envelope.
Yeah, and
And
you
it
got
was
high off it. Yeah,
high as fuck.
yeah. So they send in spice in your legal mail because the legal mail you can't open. The cops can't open it. They just hand it to you. But it's hard to do. You got to have legal mail paper and stamps and the stamp and all this crazy stuff. It's hard to do, but they're
I
doing
learned
it.
something new.
Oh.
I was smoking spice the whole time I was in there. And when I got to the halfway house,
You tested dirty.
no, you can't test for it.
Wow.
They can't test for it. There's no way they can test for it. And so when I got to the halfway house, I had not been on it for a month, and then somebody in there had it. And so I'm in there smoking, and the cops come. I got a job at the Dollar Tree in Gresham, so I was taking and the halfway house is in Northeast Portland, like Killingsworth and
I know which
Interstate
halfway
in
house you're
Killingsworth,
talking about.
way out there.
Mhm.
And so I'm taking the bus 2 hours of work. And anyway, I start smoking spice in the halfway house, and they come in and I'm laying on the floor with a spice pipe in my hand like this, like drooling. They thought I was dead. And so they call my PO. They kicked me out.
You got a violation.
I didn't get violated. No, my PO tells me either you find a place to live or I got one for you.
Oh,
And it's across the street from the federal building.
Justice Center.
I'm like, yep, exactly right.
I work. It's crazy because from my 11th floor of my job, it's got a beautiful view everywhere, every side. I send it to Peter, but the one side you can read the federal courthouse saying, and then the Justice Center is the next building.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, let's go to the other side view. Yeah.
So I'm going out. They kicked me out. I have nowhere to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. And they want me to report to the PO's office. So I'm about to walk out the door, and this guy named Cilo, he's like, hey, bro, here, take this number. Call it. They'll hook you up. And I'm like, all right. So I call it, and it was Rob Black's number.
Wow.
And he's, yeah, I got you. Move me in. So that was July 3rd of 23. That's my sobriety date because I don't count. Like spice is a drug to me. It doesn't matter. Like I was using
sounds
it, right?
like it. I don't want to fuck with it.
No,
I'm
it'll
just
kill
saying,
you. A friend of mine died from it.
You
Oh my
scared
God.
me.
It'll
Yeah.
kill you. It's scary because you don't know how much is on it. It's like fentanyl. You don't know how
I
much
was
is in
going
it.
to say, all
It's
drugs
just like
scare me
fentanyl.
now, especially.
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially.
And I move into Rob Black's house on 148th and Burnside. And still working at the Dollar Tree, and a friend of
So you
mine.
know Max?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's his guy. He was on our podcast.
I moved out of there. I moved to the one in Gresham after a year of being there. So anyway, so I worked as a fundraiser for nonprofits for about a year and a half. And then I really wanted to get into the recovery field. Like I was like serious about recovery. Like I still am, right? I was so serious about it that like I wanted to help people who needed help. And I wanted to show them that recovery is real. And during this time, I had found my higher power. I went and found a church that we feed homeless people every day, or every Sunday we feed homeless people. And like, I'm able to tell them about what God did for me and what my recovery is like now and how my life was before. And because if you knew me before and you knew me now, like night and day.
I know.
Night and day.
I've seen it.
It's crazy.
It is.
And so I ended up, you got to have 2 years sober to work in recovery. And so I waited till
I have my CRM.
I waited for my 2 years. And then one of my pastors, Tara, she is the vice president of Adult and Teen Challenge. And she was like, I got you. I'll get you in. I don't have any certification. I'm still not certified. I'm not certified right now. I've got 6 months of my 1,000 hours of on-the-job training that I need, and I haven't
for your
done.
CADC.
Yeah, that's what I'm working for. And so
I have my CADCR.
I got 90 CEUs, and I got 2 more classes to take, and I've already almost done all my 1,000 hours, but I'm in there. I'm doing
It'll
it.
happen.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I got 12 clients on my caseload. I do 3 groups a day. I'm doing the thing.
Why? Your experience is more valuable. I went to CRM class just because of the podcast. I told Peter I wanted to know and see what it was like and learned a lot. Got my PSS, peer support specialist.
Yeah. Where'd you get that done? At the Peers?
First, I went to the 4D CRM training just because Tony and his group had impressed me. And then, which is not necessarily easily to do. I usually can tell if you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And then literally I said literally, Peter.
You literally did.
I did. It's a joke. But anyway, we've had every person that teaches that class on our show. And so it just made a difference.
I'm curious, how did you get to recovery? I'm missing that part. So you
going to federal prison.
You went to prison.
Right.
You went to Rob Black's house.
Went to Rob Black's house.
In prison, though, you were still doing the
smoking spice.
The spice.
Yep.
And that ended. How did you get off the spice?
I just stopped.
Oh.
So remember I was staying at the halfway house, and they found me on the floor with the spice pipe in my hand. It looked like I was dead, and they kicked me out, and I moved into Rob Black's house, and that day I quit.
Okay.
I
just
stopped.
You said AA is a part of your foundation.
It is. And
when you stay in a Rob Black's house, you got to go to meetings, correct?
Right. So that really jump started my recovery, because I was working, so I had to do 3 meetings a week, and I don't like knock anybody who goes to like Oxford houses or anything like that. They're a great place to help if you work the program. But Rob Black's structure is what really helped me get my jump start.
We've seen them both work.
Yeah.
We've had Oxford House on. Yeah. We've had members from Rob Black.
The structure of Sober Housing Oregon, like mandatory, like weekly house meetings, 3 meetings a week, UAs all the time. Like my PO didn't care that. My PO hardly ever came and see me because they knew that Rob Black's houses were good.
That's right.
That.
And so I ended up getting off.
We're gonna have to get Rob Black on our show.
He saved my life. I told him too a couple of months ago. I seen him at a meeting. Because I don't live there anymore, and I told him, bro, I got to tell you, man, you guys saved my life. You and Dusty, man, really saved my life.
I love that.
I don't know where I would be without it. Probably back in prison.
And we have a guy that goes to my home group, Devlin, and he's a house manager. And I think for a few people, the accountability
I needed that.
I needed it too.
Yeah.
My parole was 3 years, and I went through treatment one more time, and the parole officer said, and the counselor said, you got to go to a meeting, and you're going to have to stay there, Julie, for the rest of your life, but I think you might make it. And then the parole officer said, you have to go to meetings 3 a week. And I got off parole 6 months later. And that was the decision time. Do I stay or do I go? And I was scared to go, so I stayed.
So I've been to prison probably 12 times. I got 2 state prison terms in California and 1 federal. So like my rap sheet's a mile long. And
Can't believe you robbed a bank though. That's some dumb shit right there.
and
I'm just telling you.
So I mean, we got away with it. We got what we wanted. We needed money. We needed to get out of Eugene and back to Portland, and we
You got
did.
some gas.
We got the gas.
Got some gas.
That's what we did. Yeah, we went straight to the connects.
There you go.
Which is weird because my plug is now sober, and he's, bro, I cannot believe you came to my house after you robbed that bank, dude. That's crazy. I'm selling mad weight, and you're gonna bring the feds to my doorstep, dude. So, like, if anybody who like is struggling and who's barely got any time and doesn't understand recovery, real recovery takes time to build.
Oh my gosh.
The solid foundation that you can build from just waiting and wait. Just wait. If you feel like you want to go use, you feel like
stay.
If you feel like you're not gonna be able to do it, just wait till the next day. Wait till the morning and then do it. Yeah. But at least wait and don't give up because, man, my life today, I have a beautiful life. I've never had a license and I've got my driver's license, my own car. I have a beautiful home.
You said my favorite word, and it's foundation, right? And I'm not rich by any means, but I feel my foundation, right, can weather anything.
Yeah.
The people that I've grown up with, I was very young when I got sober. And the people in my life, my foundation, they're solid. Yeah. All they want from me, they don't want to sleep with me. They don't want money from me. They just want me to be sober. And Peter's part of my foundation. You are now part of my foundation. And if there's any advice that I can give, and you might think the same way, and I'm curious, don't hang out with who you used to hang out with. Build that foundation.
And so I definitely don't hang out with the same people that I hung out with before, but my Facebook is full of friends from back in the day that I knew, and they are like, some of them are like using what I'm like the recovery that I have to get sober. They're like, wow, like I want what he has. Like I knew this guy before.
Facebook didn't exist when I got sober. Yeah. So there you go. Cell phones were barely around.
But aside from that, like I got lots of friends that I know that are dead. Like friends are dying. Right. Like people are dying every day. Like the game is not like it used to be. It's not fun anymore. I'm not saying it was fun, but it was.
I agree with you. I think now we've had a couple people on our show that are like the Summit and whatnot, right? There's 15 different strains of fentanyl and almost every drug is cut with it, right? Yeah. So what are you really getting?
That scares me to death.
Yeah, that's me too. I've never done fentanyl. I want you to know I am so scared, like really scared. Scared to do meth because it has fentanyl. I've never done heroin. Scared to death. Like just scared.
Well, you got 25 years sober and meth is not the same as it was when you were in.
I have 28, almost 29 years sober. And you're absolutely right. No, people weren't ODing on meth when I did it. I'm very fortunate. I'm also very fortunate that I guess that my look good was important. I didn't care about being chubby, but I didn't want marks on my arms and I didn't want my face broken out.
Oh, I have tracks all over my arms and I started shooting dope when I was 33. So my addiction
went quickly.
Evolved.
Yeah.
I had smoked for 15 years. And then I don't know what made me decide to start shooting it, but it evolved quick. And you say that was a stupid thing for me to rob a bank. I agree with you. But had I not robbed that bank,
you wouldn't have gone to the federal house?
Never.
I agree.
And the feds scared the crap out of me. Like the feds are not like state. Like
they have more resources.
The state is the easiest people in the world. It's simple, but the feds is like the most, like all the high level gangbangers go to the feds. And so it's like scary. It's not just normal. It's scary. It is. Like all the tax evasion people and all those people, they're like camps. They're not in the real feds. They're not at a real federal prison.
I don't know. When I got out of prison, my first 4-step, right? It's not people except for one. It's IRS, DMV, DEA, because they took all my money. I had a lot of money in the bank. And then I had choices of paying the taxes or getting charged with racketeering. And I was like, really? You're going to take my money and make me pay taxes? But how much time do you want? 4 charges of 5 years or 24 months? You have to weigh your options there. And I do agree with you. And sometimes the worst things that happen to us are the best things.
Oh, I think when I went, so I got 3 years paper. And after 2 years, I petitioned with the court to get off probation early. And when I was in the court, like, I thanked them. I told them, like, I thank you guys for saving my life. And by taking me to prison and locking me up and putting me on papers, saved my life.
Agreed.
Like, I was living a crazy life. I had a pistol on me at all times. I was selling heroin out here in Portland. Like, I had a crazy life.
I agree. I agree with you.
They saved my life. Yeah.
I think the timeout for me saved my life 100%.
And having this, I only have 3 years. I have less than 3 years. I have 2 years, 8 months sober. So having this much time clean that I've never had before, it makes me understand that I'll never go back to that life again. People are like, oh, that's a dangerous place to be saying that, but I don't care. I love my life. My life is amazing. There's nothing and no one that could ever make me go back to that life again, ever.
I understand that probably more than anyone.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And I don't take my recovery for granted at all. I work on it all the time because I do believe I've been through worse shit for real and sober than I have using. And I'm dead serious on a lot of things, but would it be worse if I was high? And it would. And the other thing is, what's that going to get me?
Yeah.
Now I'm scared I'll die. That's the one thing. And I do, when people say, I think people don't believe this sometimes, but you're either going to end up dead, in prison, and whatnot. People don't believe that, but it's true.
And people always say, don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle happens. And
and you are a miracle, Mom.
That is a huge piece of it. Like, people, I know when I first got sober, I wanted to get high again. It's hard to stay sober. It's hard to get sober. But once you get it, it's not hard to stay sober.
What are some of the things that helped you? Because for me, the thought of just stopping with cold turkey, there's no way. I don't know how that could work. So I'm curious how that worked for you. Was it the structure of the house?
Yeah. And so knowing that the feds were breathing down my back, when you catch a violation in the feds, you don't just get like 30 days. They give you 2-year violations. They're not playing. And
so that kind of hit home for you. And
yeah.
you're like,
And when I moved into Rob's house, like, those guys were so inviting. They were so cool, man. And so there was a girl that I was in the halfway house with that we were smoking spice together. And when I had got kicked out, she lived on 148th and Burnside. It was really weird. So I had went and seen her on my way to Rob's house. I had seen her and we smoked some spice, and I went and got into the sober house. And then the next day I tried to call her and no answer. And I called her the next day, no answer. And blowing up her phone, like tripping out. And finally her brother answered. And he was like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but she passed away that night that you left.
Oh,
and I'm like,
gosh.
What? She died from smoking spice. And I was like, there's no way I would never touch that stuff again. And I had not done meth in 2.5 years already. Like, since I've been in the feds, I stopped smoking. I didn't smoke any meth at all. So that wasn't hard to get off. But then when she died from spice, I don't do drugs that you can die from. I just don't understand why these people out here, they're smoking and shooting up this fentanyl that could kill you. I sold heroin my whole life and I've never touched it. And I've never done it. Not once.
Like,
I don't do drugs that kill you. I don't. I just don't. I don't want to die. I love my life.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think it's good. Like, I'm proud of you that where you've come in such a short time, I have to tell you, it wasn't as easy for me. Meaning I was successful, but it took me about, I don't know when it happened. I wish I did. But somewhere between the third and the fourth year, I stopped getting, it's like something happened and I didn't worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that though.
Yeah.
The first couple of years it bothered me. It's still, to this day, I don't like getting my blood taken.
I can't. It's hard. I was just talking with my guys at the treatment center. They were like, we were talking about triggers because we're doing cognitive behavioral interventions and we were talking about triggers. And I have to look away when I get my blood
So
drawn.
do I.
Watching the blood go into the needle is super triggering for me.
It makes me want to vomit.
And so anybody, that's one thing that I was telling my guys. Some of those guys were like, oh, there's nothing that triggers me.
Bullshit.
There's no way that there's nothing that triggers you. Like I'm really comfortable in my recovery and I get triggered. Like watching someone smoke meth, that's not going to trigger me. But watching the blood go into a needle, that really is triggering. And just thinking about it. And like,
that was the hardest one
I
for
take
me.
these shots in my stomach and like every single time I wait for the rush.
Yeah. The needle for me, I had a stomach surgery. I had a gallbladder out and it followed by 14 surgeries my second year in the program. So that's an IV every time you got to go into surgery. And that was really hard for me. Like my sponsor had to come to the hospital because they couldn't get the IV in 6 times. And I'm freaking out now. You're not touching me again. And I turned my head away too. And I only let them take it out of my hand because it's easier. And I just turned the other way. But it's taken a lot of years to get to that point. And I will tell you, it's not easy. I don't know what it's like for people that smell alcohol. I don't know what it's like that, but I know I've heard people say, oh, damn, that smells like good alcohol. I will tell you, there are triggers and you have to be aware of them. I know for me, with my mental health, right, that I don't take anxiety medicine anymore. I do well, but I know if I book too much to do, if I'm just going and going, that I get overwhelmed. And so I try now to book accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So that I don't get overwhelmed. There's certain things. It's just like with my mental health, I make sure I'm not in like this atmosphere or that, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's true in regular life.
Yeah, it's making sure that you stay safe. You want to make sure you stay safe.
That is the key.
Whatever that takes for you, like some people, I tell my guys, like, be careful where you go when you get out. Watch who you hang out with. Like, if you feel like it's going to be a trigger for you, don't go there. Just don't do it. Don't risk it. Risking it is the problem. If something is...
And thinking you can handle it.
If you have problem being in crowds, don't go in crowds. Don't do anything that's going to overwhelm you enough for you to want to use.
Exactly.
And it's the same as for me, right? So if I start hanging out with somebody and I find out they're using or something, or because I have a lot of friends, right? And some of them are still using. And that's because I feel like my lifestyle, them seeing my life is going to help them.
Inspire them. Yeah.
I just took my friend and dropped her off at the Greyhound station so she can go into treatment. So I have a rescuing problem.
So
is that your addiction now? Rescuing?
I find that admirable. And I have to tell you, I'm not that bitch. If you're using, I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, and it's been a safe place for me for a long time. And because part of my parole was I couldn't hang out with anybody from before, and I had to give 2 lie detector tests to make sure. And so I've never hung out with anybody from before. It's like my life started again. And then slowly I've added people, but they're solid people like my crew. The average age is like 77 because I got sober at 32 and they were old then. Now they're really old.
So my mission now is to reach the lost and to help people who are lost. And if I'm only hanging out with people who are sober, how am I ever going to find the people that I can help?
Exactly.
Right? And so
I love that.
So me going and hanging out, like My higher power is Jesus. And if Jesus were on earth right now, would he be hanging out in the church where people are worshiping him? No way. Heck no. He'd be in the bars. He'd be at the dope house. He would be at places where people can get reached. And my mission as a person who wants to help people is to reach the lost. And so that I make sure that I surround myself in areas where I'm going to be able to witness to somebody and show them and tell them how life is, you know, how it is now, how it was before. I was you at one time, sitting in a doorway.
That point, how is it after? How is it working in the industry, working in addiction as an addict? How was it in the houses even? What I'm going for is just what inspired you to continue and to be here today so that maybe someone who's in the dark place now can see that and maybe find something that they want to reach for.
So it isn't easy getting a solid sobriety and working a solid program. It's not easy. It's uncomfortable as fuck. Excuse my language. But if you're not comfortable, you're not growing.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've been told that a lot too in my recovery.
It takes a lot of uncomfortability to get to where I am right now. It took a lot of uncomfortability. It took a lot of doing things that I didn't want to do. It took a lot of talking about things that I did not want to talk about. It took a lot of calling my sponsor when I felt like I was triggered, when I thought I needed someone to talk to, when I just wanted to say hi, when I just felt like life was too much.
I talk to my sponsor every day. I bug the fucking shit out of him. Okay. I'm just saying it's been a pattern for me for a long time and I love it.
I've had 2 sponsors since I've been sober. My first sponsor was this guy named Huck, and he was great. And his higher power was a tree branch. And
you grew.
We just didn't mesh well.
Yeah,
so
no.
I found a sponsor that had the same higher power as me, so where I'm able to relate in that way, and it worked.
I've had 2 sponsors in 28 years. The first one died.
Oh,
yeah.
You got sober at 32, and you're 28 years sober. How old are you?
I'm 60.
Yeah.
I know I look good. It's because I got sober young.
That's right. All right.
Yeah. And I don't look good today. It's Friday and I've been on the phone all day. I think I took 52 calls today. So
you talked about some of the difficulties. It's hard and it's difficult.
Right.
But how about some of the rewards? What are some of the
good question?
What are some of the good things that have happened or are happening?
So the rewards of the hard work is the positive life, right? So let me give you an example. I was working at a place where I was raising funds for nonprofits, living at the sober living house, working there and having to go take the bus to North Portland to the halfway house 3 times a week to UA while working full time. And that shit was hard, man. That shit was hard they would send me a message saying that I had to UA that day. I didn't get off work till 5:30. So I had to go straight from my job, get on the bus 2 hours to North Portland to the halfway house to UA, and then 2.5 hours back home.
My gosh.
I didn't get home till 10 o'clock at night sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I had to get up in the morning and go to work. And so
I feel you.
So that was hard to do. But I made it through and I continued to persevere, and I wanted to quit more times than I could remember, but I continued to persevere. And
it's not easy.
It's not easy. And
exactly.
Then I wanted to get a license. I really wanted a license. I've never had one before. And so
I love that.
So I had to pay off a fine, wait till December, save up all my money. I had $6,000 in the bank saved up, and I didn't have anybody to use a car to drive. So I had to go take my driving test, and I had to take my written test. I passed that. All these times I had to take off work to do. And then I had to go to the DMV and take off a day of work for that, and then go take my driver's test and finally passed that. And then I got a car. So all these things that you do is hard. It's not hard. It's not easy. Anybody who tells you that all the stuff that they got it easy, they are lying to you. This shit is hard. It was so much work.
Same story. So I ran a red light before I went to prison. Only ticket I ever got. I ran a red light And I'm in prison and I'm like, I'm supposed to be in court. And they're like, we're not fucking taking you to traffic court. So when I got out of prison, right, I didn't know my license was suspended. And I just didn't think like that. And they asked you, do you have any tickets or whatever? They run you. And when I got out, because they're going to take you to the county if you do. And so it didn't come up. So I get pulled over and they're like, your license is suspended. And they took my car and I'm like, whoa. I had to go with my parole officer to the court to petition to get my license back. And my parole officer knew the judge. And she really does need her car and she's been doing really good. And I had to pay. He put me on the payment plan. He said, miss one payment, I'll take your license back. And she vouched for me. And I too, like you, I had to make payments to get my license back when I'm finally done with everything. And he said to me, because I had insurance on my car and I had a new car, and you get a car, you get insurance, you get a car. What part of not getting your license wasn't in that combination? So once I had all that done and I was clear, I was high off of doing it the right way. For real.
Yeah. And like, when I was staying at Rob Black's house, you got to have a license to have a car there. So that really encouraged me. And that's what I was going to say. Like I was on paper, right? And that's the one main thing that was keeping me sober at first. And then
ditto.
Like I got off paper, and when I was getting off paper, I was thinking to myself, like, these are false things that you tell yourself, right? Am I just sober because I'm on probation? And now that I'm about to get off, am I going to start using again?
When you
and then I
have
didn't.
the choice.
Right. Then I didn't. Right. And then I moved out of sober living, and I'm like, now is that the only thing keeping me sober? Living in sober living? And then I moved out of there, and I've been out of there since July, and I'm still sober. So everybody who's listening thinking that life is hard and you can't, and things are taking too long and they're not easy to do, and you are absolutely right. But in the end, the end result, the results of your life is going to be fantastic if you just keep going. You just got to keep pushing.
And you said something that's important, and I say this in meetings, right? You're off paper. You have a choice.
Right.
Okay. Yes, we are addicts. Okay. But once you're sober, you have a choice.
Right.
Do I stay or do I go? Okay. No matter what the circumstances are.
Yeah.
Riding a bus for 2.5 hours, whatever that is. And I've been there, and I'm just telling you, you have a choice to stay or go. And if you got to pray, amen. Pray.
Yeah.
If you got to surround yourself with your sponsor, do whatever, do it. I went to a meeting every day for 4 years, 3 months, and 22 days. Okay. Because I wasn't there yet. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes is what it takes. And eventually the obsession will be lifted.
And I'm going to tell you that the most pertinent piece for me, and I feel like it's the most important there, is to find a power greater than yourself.
Page 25 of the
Because
big book.
if you don't, then you are going to try to do this on your own and you will fail.
I agree.
You have to have a power greater than yourself, something that you can put all the hard stuff on. Hey, this is you now. I can't do this on my own. You got to help me get through this.
Yeah.
And your higher power will help you get through it.
And that changes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what that power
Exactly.
is, whatever it is.
Yeah, some of them, one of them, a friend of mine said her God is good, orderly direction.
That's one of my favorite. And I will tell you, mine was, first it was the parole officer. Okay. You had the higher power. You controlled whether I went back or whatnot, but really was me. And then I came to trust the group, and I dumped everything on them. So it was a group of drunks.
Yeah.
Okay. Somewhere, I don't know what year again, it changed. Okay. And my higher power is God as well, but it doesn't have to be. Peter meditates and he uses nature and stuff like that, which is so good for your brain and stuff like that. But you have to find something and trust in something.
Yeah. I tell the guys, man, one thing that we know for sure is there is a God and I'm not him.
Amen.
And I don't want to be, because the chaotic crap going on in the world and everything that's going on, like there's got to be a direction that this is going, and I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you right now that my recovery could not have happened without the help of my higher power.
He was
couldn't
looking
do
out
it.
for you all the time. That's how you ended up at the house.
Yeah, and that's how we ended up meeting each other in a parking lot. 'Cause that's how it
I mean,
happened.
how does that happen? Like,
There-
for real, I'm like, I like your shirt. Are you friends with Scott?
There's only one way that
I
can
take
happen.
a
It is.
picture of him.
For listeners,
parking
because
lot.
they didn't hear this, how did you guys meet? Because that is a good story.
So I was getting my medicine at the pharmacy.
So was I.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw you at the pharmacy first. And then when I'm coming out, you're at your van. And I said, I like your shirt.
And
Are
what
you
was the shirt?
We do recover from Skyler.
Yeah.
And he's that's my basically my homeboy. So then I didn't know your name. So I take your picture and I send it to Sky and I'm like, who's this guy? I met him and you had told me you work in recovery in Estacada. I was like, who's this guy? I want him on the podcast. And Sky's, that's my boy.
Yeah.
And,
he sent
and
me a
Sky
message.
sent back your number
Yeah.
or he contacted you and got the number. But how does that happen?
Yeah. I think in part it's being comfortable with yourself and your sobriety or your recovery to not feel ashamed and to be a little bit proud of where you're at, which I'm certainly proud that I went through everything I went through and I'm
And
here
I'm
today.
bold. I'll
you know?
go up and talk to you. You
And
know
so
this. Yeah.
Yeah. And wearing the shirts, like I have my recovery pot. I have all kinds. We both do. We have half our closet is recovery wear from different
it's my
events
gear
and
now.
different places.
Like cool shoes,
Wear 'em,
different recovery
and then someone
shirt.
comes up and says, "Hey, what's that mean? Or what's that saying mean?" And that's what it's all about. And it's awesome. And it's amazing how many people are like, "I'm there too." Or
I see that we do recover. And when I see
Everywhere.
everywhere. And then what I also see, this little girl, we were at, this brought tears to my eyes, but
Oh, that was cool.
we're at Oregon Walk for Recovery, Pioneer Courthouse Square. We're doing the podcast. It's our second year. And this little girl, 6 years old, comes up and she's got our podcast shirt on.
What?
And
That's
I'm
cool.
like, what? And she was like, you gave it to me last year, so I wore it this year.
Yeah,
And
it's
I was
awesome.
like, we posted her everywhere, but I was so moved.
That's cool.
And her mom
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, and her mom's with her, and she's, I'm still sober. And like stuff like that moves me.
Yeah.
And all of our paths are different, but they're the same.
Yeah.
And what you said about a higher power, we were at 4D's gala, and I didn't know this until we were at the gala. And page 25 of the big book, it says, you will develop a spiritual connection that will rocket you to the fourth dimension, 4D.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't say you will believe in God, you will believe in this, you will believe in that. You will develop a spiritual connection. And I get that from being here.
Yeah.
And like you say, you find people that are lost. The whole point behind the podcast was, right? You're sitting in a car. Hopefully you'll hear our podcast and you'll make the decision either to stay sober when it helps you or get recovery and not overdose. And I know I've had two people tell me that the podcast saved their life. And I was like, man, is that worth it right there?
And I'm also learning now not to take anybody's recovery on myself because
It's not.
it's hard to not do that because you're like, dang, did I not say the right thing? Or
It's on them.
people are ready when they're ready and they're going to make
Yeah.
their own decisions. And thankfully, relapse is not a part of my story. And it is to some people, but it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't.
And
Again, you can
and I'll
just
never
stay.
I'll never tell a client or a person that I talk to is, oh, don't worry, bro. Relapse is a part of recovery. No, relapse is a part of relapse.
We say we don't
But you
we don't
stumble,
shoot our wounds.
stumble, you
but
can get back up.
I agree. I
If you,
agree.
as long as if you fall 5 times, as long as you get up 6 and you're on the path right now, you're good. But just remember that your next stumble could be your last.
And that's the thing. You know,
Yeah.
relapse is part of recovery, but are you going to make it back?
Yeah, there's a chance that you can't make
Yeah.
it back, and that's the worst part
I
about
admire
it.
the people that come back
Yeah.
and make it happen.
Yeah.
I have a question about, from your perspective, you've had the past, you're now working in the recovery field. And how does that motivate you, or how do you feel that, what's that interaction like with others from being a peer side of it? Because we've heard people who, I went to treatment and this person did this for me. Shout out to so-and-so. So let's flip it. How's it from your perspective and with the people that you're helping, the lost people and some that may not make it, but how does that?
I mean, watching. So when I first, I don't get rich on my job at all, right? My reward is watching my guys who come in disheveled, beat up, broken down, needing somebody that they can trust. And then to watching them just open up and find that peace that they need that's the reward for me.
That's cool. I like that.
And going to their graduations and
Love it.
hearing them say, man, like my counselor is what I couldn't have done it without my counselor. And I'm like, no, man, you did it on your own. Like I was just there to help walk you through it.
I think you're selling yourself short a little bit. And I'm going to say that you're authentic. And I know the first time I was in treatment, the lady was full of shit. Okay. She didn't know what I was going through. She was a textbook, but you're authentic. And I think when you have someone who's authentic, you can relate and it's relatable.
Yeah.
And I think that really counts. No, you don't do the work for them, but you, like Peter said, you are there. And I think being authentic, being yourself is everything.
Yeah, I love those guys, man. I love them. Have such a heart for them. And I know that if they are able to make it out of there and graduate, then they have a real chance of surviving and making it through this thing. Because addiction it's a life or death situation. It's life or death. And I tell my guys that all the time. Hey, bro, you can leave if you want, but I'll tell you right now, the chance of you making back is less now than it's ever been.
Absolutely.
And I can't take that on myself and be like,
No.
I'm going to say bye, but I hope I'm able to see you again. And there's a chance
Same.
I won't. So
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm going to tell you, people say miracles. They don't necessarily believe in them, but you are a miracle.
yeah, definitely.
And thank you for being a miracle to me.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. I am. And they say gratitude is when you have enough. I have everything.
Yeah.
In my recovery, I'm a billionaire.
Yeah. I'm
you know,
glad I was able to-
financially, maybe not.
Yeah, we got a lot of shoes though.
We got a lot of shoes. Got a lot of matching shirts
Yeah,
too.
I was really excited. I'm really excited to have been able to come. Last week I was sick, so I wasn't able to make it, but I'm glad I was able to come in.
I'm so glad you were
wanted
here.
people to hear.
And I know
my
you're
story,
tired. I'm
you know.
tired too.
I'm exhausted. I've been up since
Look
4 in
at-
the morning. I'm so
Same.
tired.
I told Peter when
Yeah.
I got here, I said, I know. I said, I'm exhausted. I don't want to be here, but I know by the time it's over,
Yeah.
I'll be energized,
Right.
grateful. And I am. I'm ready to go home and take on the new day. So
I live
thank you.
10 minutes away from here, so I'm going home to go to bed.
I live about 7 minutes from here. Okay. And same, I work for a company and I haven't announced it yet on the podcast because I'm on probation for a year and I don't want to say anything until I'm hired because I changed kind of my destination last year after having 2 jobs.
You said you took 56 phone calls, so
52. 52.
That's 50 too many.
And I used to have my own call center that I ran. So it's a little bit different. But I will tell you, I feel like I work for the best company in the world. So I feel
that's how I felt when I worked at Gateway Communications. That's what I did. I was a phone fundraiser. I raised funds for nonprofits over the phone.
I love that. We need that. I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
me and Peter have the lowest budget out of any nonprofit there is. But we
Well,
put
that's why you get all your guests from parking lots.
That's
It is.
right.
It is.
That's all
And
we
I
can
have to
afford.
tell you,
Parking lot pimping.
it's crazy because we have like over 10,000 listeners. I always brag about this. We're 32nd in Australia, 16th in
32nd in Australia.
Yeah, 32nd. Because we have this guy that goes to my nighttime group
Yeah.
and he blew us up in Australia. Like he loved the podcast. I spent $68 on postage getting him a recovery podcast shirt.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so it's crazy. And we're like 16th in Puerto Rico and I don't know who we know there, but it's crazy. But I was working. Peter was working. Then I started a new job. I went to IOP. Then Peter got cancer and we recorded a bunch of shows in advance knowing he was going to go through treatment. And I was in training at the same time, and we still haven't missed an episode every Friday.
You've known Peter a long time, huh?
I feel like I've known Peter my whole life, but I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those, you know how if you meet someone and it just clicks and you feel like
first day.
she's my sister from a different mister.
And I'm an only child, and
I got friends that I can bring that I can direct towards you for the podcast.
I love that.
Definitely people that are.
I love that. We try to get a variety,
Yeah.
and we don't care what kind of recovery as long as it's about recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate like you being so open and vulnerable and willing to talk about your past and show your pride in how you got through it and where you are today. I think that is something that we just need to share over and over again.
There's no way to talk about how recovery has changed your life if you don't tell the part that
Not
was
pretty.
Before.
Yeah.
The ugly parts is what the most, because a lot of the people who are struggling, they think that their past is what's going to define them, when
It's not.
then that's the false narrative that they've created for themselves.
And your past on drugs is not who you are sober.
Yeah.
No, and that's the identity.
Yeah.
That's an identity. It's an identity problem. It's, you don't know what your true identity is because you haven't even developed yourself yet. You
And
don't
I'll
even
have
know.
to tell you who you are right now. Who knows, in 10 years, you don't own your own treatment center. I'm just saying,
I know.
we
right?
don't know.
Your director.
If you would, exactly. John Morgan.
I know. I was just saying, look at John Morgan.
Another chance. 45 felonies. Okay. East side, west side. I love this man. Okay. And we had somebody here last week that graduated from Another Chance that worked at Blanchet House. And you don't know. If you would have told me 5 years ago I wouldn't be a manager at a company, I would have told you bullshit. I'm serious. If you would have told me I was going to go to IOP 25 years sober, I would have been like, fuck you. But you don't know. And I think just continuing to grow and being open to it is the only way.
Yeah. And you got to be, the one thing that I suggest to people is if you haven't dealt with your stuff yet, do it.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, our trauma is what caused us to be addicts and alcoholics to begin with.
So I'm going to counter that. I think there's different phases in your life. And I don't know that I could have dealt with mine at first.
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
At first, it was just enough for me to be sober.
Yeah. Do you think that your trauma would have put you back out even after 25 years sober?
I think this is the truth for me. I don't think so, but I do think that I was so ashamed and I was so worried about my look good, okay, and my success. I was extremely successful in the business world, and I didn't want that to define me.
Yeah.
And then I got laid off from Sprint after working there almost 20 years, and I was going to write a book about my story, right? It's pretty good. And I went to go write it, and I couldn't type the first 15 years. And my sponsor said to me, "What's up?" And I told him, and I was just bawling. And he said, "I think we need to do a 4-step around this." So we're in COVID, okay? He ain't got nothing to do. I'm laid off. I ain't got nothing to do. So we met on the phone every Friday for a month, and we went over it for the first time in my life. So he dies. Right? He's 99 years old. He got
99 years old?
He got sober at 76, and I had him for 23 years. And so I'm like, my secrets are all safe. They went with him. I didn't tell anybody. And then I was working too much, 65, 70 hours a week. And my eardrum blew. And I went to the doctors, and the doctor sent me to the shrink just to make sure, because she felt like I had a breakdown. And the psychiatrist, Dr. E, she said for the first time, she said, "Did anyone ever touch you as a child?" And I blow up, can't breathe, crying. And I'm like, "Why would you ask me that?" And she's, "You don't have to answer."
This fool came beyond the grave and told you.
Yeah. She's, "You don't have to answer, Julie. It's okay. I understand." And I was like, and so they sent me to IOP. They wouldn't let me go back to work until I went through IOP. And then work was stressful again.
And it was a good decision.
And it was work, but I went through IOP just trying to get back to work. And then work was very stressful. I stayed a year, didn't miss a day. And I decided to go back to IOP for mental health. The second time, it was my choice. And It was everything. And I had Peter. I had to deal with some memory stuff that came up on TV. I've never ran into a client. I've never ran into anything.
That's the one thing I always wonder if what am I going to say if I ever run into a client? Because
Yeah.
I can't say nothing to them. I'm not even supposed to talk to them in public
Yes.
unless they talk to me first. It's really weird.
My clients were different. They were from the escort service. This one was pretty famous, and I saw them on TV, and it brought back a lot. Luckily, I was in IOP. I ran to Peter's house.
You ran an escort service? 5 escort services?
Yeah. Yeah. I got arrested with a little bit of money.
In
$250,000. Yeah. I got in a little bit of trouble.
A little bit of nothing, huh?
Yeah, a little bit of nothing. But
look at where we are today.
exactly. Look where we are today. And I
one day
will
I'm going to
tell
have
you.
to listen to your story, Julie.
Yeah. It's the second one. The first one is an introduction to the podcast. Then we do Peter's and we do mine. And that was the first time, right? Because of my job in running a division of a company. That's the first time I admit a whole lot of stuff. I kept AA over here, business over here. I kept them separate. And they're all merged.
Yeah.
After you say it on the podcast, it was like stripping in front of the United States of America and every other country.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine that I really like, and she's going to listen to this, so I'm not going to say anything about it. But she is a teacher, and she wears her recovery T-shirts, and she's, I wonder if, because she just got a job at a preschool. She was like, I wonder what they would think about that. I'm like, dude, be proud of it.
So
Nobody cares about that anymore.
This job that I'm at now, first time ever. And I wear my podcast shirt with my matching Air Force Ones. And I wear it to work, and people are like, what's the podcast? And I was like, my podcast, I'm in recovery. And I have no shame behind it.
Yeah.
I'm proud. It's like a badge.
It's where I'm at in my life. It's like there is no difference between, like you were saying, I used to silo everything. And now it's just my life. It's
Peter
who I
and I
am.
were both in the business world. When being a manager, you can't do this and you can't do that. I don't take my friends on Facebook from my employment and stuff. And so I never wanted it to be a reflection. Now, I love that I'm not a manager, believe it or not, and I can just be an employee and a worker bee. Someone said this on the podcast. I don't think it was Tristan, but recovery is my job. My employment just pays my bills. And when you look at it like that, it's a whole different venue. Like I said, my recovery capital, I'm a billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much for being here again. I said it several times, but
thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
I
This
know
was fucking awesome.
you're going
Thanks,
to inspire
guys.
somebody. You're a figure that anybody can look up to. So
Well, if my story could just change one person's life, I'll be happy.
that's what this podcast is all about.
And we have. We've saved a life.
Yeah.
Okay. When somebody came up to me and told me the podcast saved their other half, I just started bawling.
Yeah.
It was like the biggest reward, like you said.
And even beyond the podcast, your time here tonight, what you're doing every day, what you're showing others out there every day, that's a miracle in itself.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So thank you so much.
Thanks, Guy.
And thanks for the shirt.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Can rock that.
This is Peter.
My name is Julie.
We're here with
Justin Rye.
and
Yeah,
we
thank you,
appreciate it.
Justin.
Thank you for listening.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks to each and every one of you for lending us your ears and hearts. Your engagement is what fuels our passion and keeps this podcast thriving.
We cherish the moments we share here and hope they resonate with you, whether you're on a daily commute, at the gym, or just taking a moment for yourself.
Make sure to head over to our website at realrecoverypodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter for the latest insights and uplifting stories from our community delivered straight to your inbox.
Click that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player too, so you can keep up with every new episode. It's your support that keeps our conversation alive and meaningful.
And if our stories have touched you, consider using the donate button on our site. Your contributions, no matter the size, are deeply appreciated. They help us continue our mission of sharing hope and healing.
Join us beyond the podcast and follow our journey on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. All the links are on our site. so you can stay connected and be a part of the Real Recovery community every day.
Your likes, shares, and comments not only spread the message of recovery, but also remind us that we're all in this together.
So, until we meet again, remember that recovery is a journey, not a destination, and we'll be here to accompany you every step of the way to recovery, real recovery.
Thanks for listening.